Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions, and there's a few things that I quickly want to talk about as markets are somewhat break even to start the day. So, the first thing that we need to be aware of is kind of the good news and maybe bad news if it doesn't get approved. Yesterday, March 4th, 2025, Trump's 25% tariffs into Canada and Mexico went into effect. Supposedly, again, this is all supposedly, the markets began to recover slightly because the idea or the hope that he might trim on those tariffs for both Canada and Mexico are very likely. And supposedly that news is supposed to be announced either today or tomorrow. With that being said, if he does announce this should act as a positive catalyst for the market. Now, again, if he doesn't announce this, then markets should continue to drop. Remember, the real big thing that we're focused on right now is the overall concern of this trade war. This shouldn't catch you by surprise. This should just make you aware this is an ongoing negotiation with different countries. Trump is trying to renegotiate the different trade offers that it has with different countries so it makes it more fair. Now, again, you don't have to agree or disagree. It doesn't matter what your opinion is or my opinion is on this topic. This is one thing that he said that he was going to do, and it's one thing that he is going to move forward with. And as long as he continues to leverage this trade war and these tariffs, then yes, the markets can go lower. But I also don't just want to talk about all of the downside. A lot of you guys know that I've been waiting for the market to pull on back. We've been shorting the market, and I actually have an open short right now on MSTR that I do plan to close if we come right back down to previous lows of 274. With that being said, my job is to talk about not just the good news, but also the bad news. And with that being said, we need to talk about that. Hey, markets are oversold. I'm not talking about MSTR, the stock that I was shorting, but I'm talking about the rest of the market. Nvidia is at $115 per share when it was previously trading at $150 per share. We have the overall NASDAQ market, which is QQQ, right? I can pull it up here very quickly. Overall NASDAQ market is officially in the red year to date. It's pulled back to the moving average on the day chart, and it's now sub 500. So again, that means that most of the NASDAQ and everything that falls within it, so a lot of tech, such as, I can pull it up very quickly. We can pull up Amazon, a significant pullback. We can pull up Microsoft, a significant pullback. From safe companies to a little bit more risky companies, a lot of them have pulled on back. So I don't want my content to just be like, hey, markets have to continue to sell off, continue to short. No, not at all, because I don't know that. I can't predict the future. And if Trump does announce either kind of like easing up on these tariffs, or if he announces anything that might be on the bullish side of things, which again, it can be a complete curveball, but it's always possible. Yes, markets can begin to recover, and I want to at least plant that seed. So if it does happen, we create a plan of action in what stock you would want to be invested in if the markets do begin to recover. My main stock, I'm going to keep it super simple, is Nvidia. If markets do begin to recover, that's one stock that I plan to buy. And I would enter a swing trade. I don't plan to go in very aggressive because, again, there's still that volatility concern that markets are all over the place. But I wouldn't mind being invested in Nvidia at the current price that it's at if markets do begin to show signs of recovery. I'm not in a rush to buy it. It's just the one stock that I find to be very attractive long-term, and I like the recent pullback. That's all. I know some of you guys have also heard the recent news. And again, I like to talk about the good and the bad. The recent news when it comes down to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, as it again moves based off of Bitcoin's performance. Supposedly, there is some form of meeting that's going to happen either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. And I think Michael Saylor is invited to the White House. I don't know exactly what is going to be said. Obviously, on X.com, previously known as Twitter, a lot of people have a lot of different speculations of what they think is going to happen. You can try to guesstimate that, it might be a bullish reaction. It might be a bearish. I'm going to set up short. I'm going to go long. Whatever the case might be, I kind of view this as like an earnings report. At the same form of risk, meaning that I don't want to try to predict and hope for something to happen. I would rather stay cash and wait for the market to react. MicroStrategy is oversold enough that if anything good or not as bad is stated, such as the Bitcoin reserve that everyone continues to talk about, Bitcoin can begin to go up and can begin to recover. And if that's the case, then MicroStrategy will most likely recover as well. It's always very important to be optimistic about both sides. MicroStrategy has pulled back from $543 per share all the way down to $250 per share. It's had a significant pullback, and it doesn't have to continue to bleed right now as long as Bitcoin holds at a support. But if the sell-in pressure continues on Bitcoin, then of course the sell-in pressure can continue with MicroStrategy. But because of what the event is this Thursday or this Friday, then again, it provides another layer of risk where I just don't think it's the safest short to have at these oversold levels due to all the recovery potential that the markets can possibly offer. The risk to reward, in my opinion, just doesn't make sense, which is why I've made it very clear that we have no intention of carrying those MSTR shorts overnight. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope to keep you guys up to date. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you ever want to watch me trade live, it's the second link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.